see if we're good here. Just gonna give it a moment to look at the broadcast here. Show up. And play an ad before that, I guess. I'll have to edit this down. Let me get this up here. Alright. Okay. So let's load up Blade Runner. If we... Did we load this up? Oh, goodness. Okay, one moment. Oh, great. First time we stream this and it's already breaking. Okay, come on. Duh. Are we... There we go. Okay. Now that we finally got that up, welcome to a new little segment I'm going to be doing called for games based on movies. My name is Mark McPherson. So we're just going to be taking a look at the original Blade Runner game from 1997, the adventure game here. I've been actually wanting to do this for a while just because I thought... because I really dug this game and I really love Blade Runner. Is one of my favorite movies, so I figured I'd do a little walkthrough of this and just show off this awesome game here. I'm going to try it out on Medium just to try it out here. So this game was actually, much like Blade Runner, it apparently was a nightmare for all involved. Like, the Blade Runner, the rights to make a game were all over the place, so Westwood had to get a lot of ducks in a row just to make this game happen. Namely, they were bound by a lot of restrictions, and one of the restrictions was that, they couldn't just do a direct adaptation of the movie, which is fine for me. I think that, if you make a movie based on a game and it follows the same plot directly, it's not as fun, because if you've seen the movie, you know what happens in the game, more or less. This game, you don't actually play as the character of Deckard from Blade Runner. You're playing as McCoy, who is another Blade Runner who goes on a very similar journey with the same type of characters, more or less. So yeah, you're not playing as the same character, but you're essentially playing the same story. It's the same time frame as Blade Runner, as you can see here. And another stipulation was they could not use footage from the actual movie in the game. So a lot of the footage you're seeing here is directly replicating stuff from the game. Sorry, the game replicating from the movie. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it looks very much like the movie here, but all generated within 3D here. You can kind of see because of the pixelation and everything. The interesting thing, though, about how they recreate a Blade Runner here is that they couldn't recreate it directly. Actually, I'll get in this for a moment here.
I'm leaving now.
Lucy, my sweet.
I cleaned out the tiger cage and sorted all the meal bins. So, if it's all right, it's my turn to fix dinner.
Haven't you forgotten something, little one? Just one little thing.
Mr. Runson,
Wear a shirt to work?
please.
It's been a very long day.
I don't want to.
Now, Lucy, I thought we'd settled this last week. Don't let's forget who pays your salary. We're closed. Come back tomorrow.
Kind of weird the arm deformations look.
Wait! I haven't finished with you. I told you we're closed.
We're not here to buy, little man. We've come to sell.
You can't possibly have anything to interest me. These are extremely rare animals of the highest quality.
Like the Dr. Tyrell glasses.
What a coincidence. So am I.
So here's not Roy Batty.
That is the price for humility.
Oh, please, don't.
And what else might we interest you in today, sir? Perhaps some virtue?
Not my animals, please. I'm begging you.
But what of honor, little man? At what price? Honor.
Oh man.
Oh my God, no! That tiger is the rarest specimen ever seen.
Tiger, tiger, burning bright. The forest of the night.
All right.
BR61661
So we are with McCoy here.
Repeat code 3.
I was just finishing up my 12 out on patrol when I got the call. Welcome relief, considering that the most action I'd seen all night was a schizoid grandmother doing the shimmy in her underwear in the second sector.
Unfortunately, we're stuck with narration, no director's cut here. Just the familiar police station from the movie. The interesting thing about how they designed this world from Blade Runner is that they wanted to use the original designs with Sid Mead, and Sid Mead sent over the concept art, which looked much different from what was in the movie.
Last time I had a 3 was when some hooker vomited Thunderbird on Bryant's desk.
And
Yours
so,
truly led the cleanup crew.
so essentially, the game here is trying to replicate what the
Year and a
movie
half
did,
on
which
the
was
job, it was still the
take
dirtiest
Mead's
work I've
design and try to rework it
Where's
for like a
Captain
movie.
Bryant?
Took a sick day. Got himself a heinous case of ptomaine poisoning. He asked me personally to run the unit in his absence.
So here's not Bryant.
Guzzo was one of the old-time guys who took their knocks in the streets. He had a friendly way about him, but you didn't want to turn your back on him if you were less than a friend.
Hope you've been enjoying your leisure time, kid, because it's time to take that thumb out of your ass.
Hallelujah.
Don't get too excited. The other Blade Runners are all jammed up. Holden's sucking dinner through a straw. Gaff's working the Tyrell break-in, and Steele's working special undercover. Looks like you got this one by
Most
default.
of these
You really
characters
know
you'll
how to make
meet
a girl
over the
feel
game.
wanted.
Animal murder done at Runciter Zoological. Probably just be a schizoid glitz, but we got the call. Old man Runciter lost something like 1 billion chinions worth.
10 to 1, this ain't a job for Rep Detect.
You got something better to do? Perfect your French cooking, maybe?
Slumming tonight, Slim?
I thought you were on special assignment.
Wasn't too damn special after I had the suckers out.
What happened?
Couple of fours were masquerading as fibroplast insulators down at Kaiser. I dressed up like a nurse. They never had a chance.
I'll bet. You put him on the machine?
Hell no. There's a beautiful little thing in here called the Magic, and it ain't ever been
Oh
wrong.
my goodness.
You develop it, you got a brilliant career ahead of you.
I'm working on it.
What's Guzzo got you doing tonight?
AM at Runciter's.
Animal murder. Oh, those skin jobs got no respect for anything that truly lives and breathes. And that goddamn Eldon Tyrell ought to be zipped into a body bag and flushed into deep space.
Get rid of him, we'd be out of a job.
I think we're all overdue for a little off-road
I
vacation.
can never get over the arm deformations. They just
You
look
can
so
stop
bizarre.
staring at my ass now.
You got eyes in the back of your head?
All you gotta do is ask, Slim.
Alright, here we go. So now we're finally going to get into the game
Animal
here.
sales was a profitable and prestigious business since most real animals had died out after the Terran War. There were plenty of electric ones, though, powered by rechargeable batteries. No self-respecting human would own one of those frauds.
Okay, so we've established kind of the world of Blade Runner that, you know, we're hunting down replicants just like in the movie. Yeah, except in this case we're hunting down replicants that have first committed animal murder at what is deemed as an authentic animal seller. Before we start though, let's click on your character. You can go into the options here. And the interesting thing I like about this game is that it tries to break the convention of most adventure games at the time. Most of the time in adventure games you would have a dialogue tree. And this game gives you the option to just skip over the dialogue tree entirely here. So you can just choose how you want to talk to people basically. So you can take the polite approach, or you can be normal, you can be a little bit surly and firm, or you could just be an evil dick. And again, here's user control. If you really do like the dialogue trees, you can go through it through here. Just for the sake of that, I'm just gonna rely on the behavior just because I don't like going through the dialogue trees. We'll turn on designer's cut here, just because I think it changes certain events, how they happen. That's the interesting thing about this game, is based on how you speak through here, there are a bunch of different endings you can get, as opposed to just different stuff happening in between the inevitable ending here. So I think there's, if I remember correctly, there's probably about like 3 or 4 like core endings where it explains what happens to your character, and then a bunch of different versions of those same endings depending on who lives or who dies. So right away we can start grabbing evidence here.
Find something?
Piece of chrome.
From a car?
No, I think it's horse chrome. Bag it and tag it.
The one thing, though, I hate about McCoy here is that even though he's an original character and we get to play through him, he does have, like, that narration. He does, like in most adventure games, he describes what he's doing, and sometimes he puts on, like, weird voice and stuff like that. Similar a little bit to Deckard, but I don't know, there's something about him that rubs
Nothing
me the
even
wrong way.
remotely interesting, but hell, if I was going to root through trash, my expectations weren't too high. Nothing even remotely interesting, but hell, if I was going to root through trash, my expectations weren't too high.
Let's see here, I believe you can find more
Scratches
evidence.
and paint flecks, and I knew what they meant. Unless the city had bought a jet black fire truck, somebody had a big fat traffic ticket coming.
Alright, so there's going to be get information
What do
from
you
the
know?
cop here in the scene.
About 30 counts of animal murder and 1 of aggravated assault. The shop's been thrashed. You ought to see this tiger cub they got in there. It's a goddamn tragedy.
How's old man Runsiter holding up?
State of shock. He's been moaning and complaining about his world caving in.
You'd feel the same way if they were your animals. How many perps?
At least 2. Bloody footprints all over the scene.
Must be a delightful sight.
And let's see, I think we can get information from the
Canvass
crowd.
the area. Maybe somebody had his eyes open.
I'm on it.
And the way these characters are moving, at least the ones that are generated with the voxels here, which in this case are just the cop and McCoy here, these are all, at least the best of my knowledge, these are all motion controlled. Sorry, motion capture performances. Oh my god, this is going terribly. Let's see, we can also get information.
I already checked for a crowbar, some kind of tool. No luck, but it looks like we've got some latents.
Make sure the lab boys run them through the mainframe, human and rep.
Alright, so we'll proceed into Runsiter's now.
Judging from the distance between the prints, I was looking for 2 very big men. One dragged his right foot, indicating a possible injury or lameness. The other appeared a lot more controlled, graceful even. Quite a pair.
We got all that just from looking at the footprints in here. But they're kind of fainted here. Well, it looks a little odd. It looks a little odd with the pixelation here. One of the things I wanted to mention was that this is not an HD. Obviously, this is not an HD version of the game. I doubt there will ever be a remastering of this game, mainly because the source files were lost at Westwood years ago. And the only way to play this game now is if you have the original...
My precious one.
Let Runsiter
She was my baby.
piss and moan there about his dead animals for a bit. But yeah, essentially, they lost the code, and the only way to play the game now is if you have the CDs, and then you have to download a special installer from, I think it's like replaying.d. It's a German site, so I downloaded that, and and it worked pretty well. So I'm running this on Windows 10 with the installer, which worked perfectly here. So if you want to play this game, you will have to seek out the CD, but don't worry, if it will be able to play on modern systems if you download the installer. So,
Precious one.
all right, we'll interview
She
you,
was
Runsiter.
my baby.
McCoy, LPD.
I'm absolutely certain Lucy Devlin was involved in this heinous act. She's the young girl who works for me.
She's responsible for all this mayhem?
No, of course not. It was 2 men acting in concert with her, obviously.
Obviously. What'd they look like?
Big and scary and absolutely malevolent.
See if we
Can you think of
further.
anything they might have been after?
First, I thought they wanted money, but I don't keep any in the shop. Then I thought they wanted to steal my animals, but they started executing them.
Could they have been replicants?
Who else would be capable of such barbaric acts?
I don't know, just regular criminals, but I guess they're replicants. I know that, yeah, the animals are valued in this society, so anyone who kills them would have to be seen as inhuman, but you know, we're just gonna have to make that jump.
You ever do any business with the replicant manufacturers, Tyrell Corporation?
I resent that accusation.
Just wondering.
Officer, last May I personally sold Governor Colvig an exquisite Bergeron colt. I have been a guest at his house on 3 separate occasions. Do I look like I need to carry artificial product?
Yeah, that'll come back to bite us in the butt in a bit. I guess I'll get this over the way. Like, certain characters will have to be in certain areas to get stuff for you. So a lot of the times they'll be stuck just watching a character walk into place so that a certain action can happen. Perfect example here. Like, I think if we question him, we can get something more about Lucy.
Tell me about this Lucy.
There's not a lot I can tell you. She's only worked for me for about a month. She's about 14 years old with pink hair. A very attractive young thing.
How'd you find her?
She came to me with a reference from Ogilvy's in the Northwest Zone. And he's a very reputable wholesaler.
You treat her well?
As well as any young tot should be treated.
She got a desk? Or someplace where she worked?
She used to eat over there. All my animals.
Yeah, 14-year-old is a reference. That's great. Let's
see if you can dig up that reference from Ogilvy's.
Yes, it's somewhere here. Just a moment.
So here we go. If we have to wait for him to go over here and grab it, and then we have to get into place here so that he can hand it to us. Strange, because it was right across the desk there, but whatever. Okay, so we'll go investigate Lucy's desk over here.
Well, isn't that cute?
Yeah, it's great. That's what a Blade Runner should be reacting to, a picture of monkeys.
A candy bar. Yuck.
I guess candy bars are gross, I guess.
Howie Lee's in Chinatown. I'd eaten there myself.
I guess chopsticks off the ground, not as gross, I guess.
A toy dog.
That's it, yeah, the candy bar gross. Yeah, toy dog. Yeah, whatever. Okay, let's see. And I think the one other bit of evidence we can get through here is
You got any discs from that camera?
It's irrelevant. Those murderers also destroyed the camera. Thousands of Jinyens worth.
Maybe it photographed them before they shot it out.
I guess you've got a point at that.
Oh, right, video.
I believe this is the disc from last night.
Peachy.
Okay, so we got our video now. Can we move? Oh, there we go.
It didn't add up. Animal murders, the lack of any theft. The small animals alone were worth a good chunk of change on the street. It seemed more like an act of vengeance.
Yeah. We'll go see what the crowd got here.
Find anything else out here?
Zilcho. Row actions inside. Abstract art. All over the walls and ceiling.
I never did appreciate art.
That's wonderful banter. It was odd though, like the gunshots, and there's like 2 gunshots that like a picture of a gorilla in there. Yeah, insert your Harambe joke here, whatever. Okay, so get back in our police cruiser here. And we have a couple different options right now. More areas will expand as we need them. So let's see, we're Runciters right now. I think we'll go to the police station next to analyze our evidence, which whenever you get any evidence, you have to go back here. So you could kind of see a Runciter. It looked very pixelated. Like even right now, like our character looks very pixelated, and that's mainly because they were using voxels, a low amount of voxels for these characters, so that they would be able to render correctly on a machine without using 3D acceleration. I mean, there were a couple 3D accelerated games at the time that relied on 3D cards, but for a game of this scale, and this is a huge game, it would have chugged so hard, which at the time I was very thankful that this game didn't require a 3D card. that I could just rely on the processor going for it, because 3D cards were expensive, and begging your parents for a high-powered machine wasn't quite in the cards at that point. So a lot of the characters look more pixelated. I think remember that PC Gamer once referred to these graphics as kind of like hockey graphics, because I think some of the NHL games at the time had similar pixel counts for the characters. So here we are at the elevator.
Roof.
I'm trying to remember which...
Laboratory.
Alright, here we go. So we hover over to which is which.
Mainframe and shooting range. Ground floor. Lockup.
Alright, so we'll go to the first one down here. And ask about
Got
the car.
anything new for me, Dino?
I was wondering when you'd show your mug around here, McCoy. We got the animal corpses from Runcitus, but there wasn't a whole lot to work with.
Bone marrow?
About 50% were real, the rest were fakes.
So, Runciter was ripping his customers off.
State-of-the-art fakes. Miles beyond the crap you see on Anamoid Row.
The kind that comes from legit manufacturers?
And they're the ones that usually produce the quality.
What about the wounds?
Most of them were shot point blank, but we're looking at some others. Sloppy cuts with a knife, like the perp was really pissed off at something.
Butcher knife?
Could be, but who cuts meat anymore?
Nice bunch of reps I'm tailing. Hope you're not pulling a meat cleaver out of my back next week.
So one thing I kind of hate about the reveal is that, it plays off like a typical mystery movie where we see what happens, and most of the stuff we already know has to be spelled out for the character, like, oh, they're using a butcher knife, which we clearly already saw.
That black paint you found on the fire hydrant, it's from a ground car.
You sure?
The angle of impact was almost head-on, and there ain't too many spinning drivers klutzy enough to smack a street-level hydrant in VTOL mode.
Wait, what is he?
I
Who's
heard
he
your
talking
wife got
to?
her license back.
You're a real
What's he
funny
looking
guy,
at?
McCoy.
Is he watching the TV while he's talking to us? Let's try one more time.
Anything else?
That piece of chrome you found outside of Runcitus is from a 1995 Pontiac.
Nice set of wheels.
It's okay, not what I call a classic.
I guess he's just not going to talk.
Anything else?
Zip, man. Try me later.
Okay. I guess I thought we're standing at this angle and talk to the TV. All right, whatever. Okay, so next we'll go to the mainframe to analyze the footage we got.
Violent street crime in the city rose again last year by a whopping 26%, according to the latest figures from the Department of Justice. Governor Kolvig attributed the change to the dramatic increase in the number of specials registered as city residents and promised a tough new set of standards for the City Immigration Bureau by next month.
All right. So, yeah, when I was clicking on the TV there, this is the high scores of the shooting range, which you can go into. Won't go into it right now. Just say that the other cool thing about this game is you can shoot at replicants once they start running. Or you can shoot certain people just to affect how stuff will happen in the game. So if you right-click, we can bring out our gun here. Again, you can't quite just shoot anybody, but you can shoot a few people and affect how the game will play out.
Lucky Strikes. Crystal's brand. I knew she was spending a lot of time in the training maze these days, even though she'd already gotten close to a perfect score.
And you can go through the training range, but it's a fairly long part of the game, and it really serves... I don't really think it serves much point other than just to show your dinky high score here compared to everyone else. Not sure how important. Deckard's is pretty low, so I don't know if that's an insult to Harrison Ford, I guess. But okay. Well, I guess it can't be too good if ours is 0. I guess we've never gone through the training range. Even though when you go into the training range and talk with the guy there, it sounds like you've been there a few times. So maybe it's just a terrible shot.
Uploading personal clue database.
Alright, so
downloading mainframe clue database.
So first you gotta load all your footage up first.
Clue database transfer complete.
Well, you can load. I forgot. You can load up your footage through here, and this computer will update you on current clues on other cases here. So if we click on ourself here, we can search through different cases here. So we've got there's a factory bombing that's going on separately. There's the animal murder that we're currently investigating, and we can look at all of our clues through here, including our yucky candy bar, which, what's it called? Brown Cow, I guess? I guess it is kind of gross.
Howie Lee's in Chinatown. I'd eaten there myself.
So yeah, we can also hear how McCoy has referenced everything here.
I already checked for a crowbar or some kind of tool.
Including, we can also listen back to audio that we've gotten from other people just to listen in on it.
That black paint you...
We can just look at suspects here. We don't have any suspects at the moment, but we will once we analyze it through the Esper here.
Scanning video disk. 2 enhanceable images found. Adding enhanceable photographs to Kaya database.
So yeah, this is similar to the Esper that Deckard uses in his own house, and we do have one in our house our apartment as well. But you can additionally use it at the police station just so you don't have to keep running back and forth.
Run-sitter crime scene.
So very similar to, kind of similar to how it worked in the movie is that we can analyze certain parts of the photo here, and for some reason with, you know, new photo technology, we can rotate around stuff once we find something interesting here. So just right click to go back here. And let's see. There's a few different, sometimes you can see Lucy in the back, or no, wait, I think you can find her right here. So we focus on her. And then screw the logic of photos, we can get right up in her face.
Hello there, Lucy. Give me a hard copy of that.
And let's see, I'm trying to think of what else we could... Kinda gotta look around here, see if you can see anything. And there won't be too much in the photos you can grab for evidence. So let's see if we can go back here.
Run-sitter crime scene.
And here's where we can get the first photos of our suspects. Perfect lighting now.
He looks familiar. Give me a hard copy of that.
Okay, so we've got our first perp there, and then we can also look at the license plate too.
Local license plate? Give me a hard copy of that.
It's always struck me as silly that we could zoom that far into the license plate, but we couldn't zoom just a little bit farther and get this guy in the back here. No. Don't even get it that cleaned up either. And let's see. I think that's about all we can do for that. So we got our suspects now. Okay.
Ground floor.
So see, ground floor would just be the Captain Bryant's office, like we saw in the beginning there, and what you see most of in the Blade Runner movie. Lockup. I doubt there's. It's usually where they store criminals here. You can question a few of them. This person, I believe, is involved with the organization of Cars, which is a terrorist group, I think.
I'm not the one who makes that decision.
I suppose it's my turn to bear the cross for the cause.
So we can't talk to him about much yet, just because we don't have any leads. So we'll get back to our car here. Go to Chinatown, see if we can dig up anything here. So here we go to Chinatown. Another very familiar sight from the movie here. And now we have a few more characters moving in the background here. One thing I should mention, though, is that the music here... Well, I'll talk a little bit about the music a little bit. Right now, we'll change this to be a little bit more polite here. Just because we know that the guy who runs the restaurant here, and I'll try to be a little bit diplomatic here. Here we have a brightly dressed comedian.
McCoy, LPD. I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Sorry, my man. I just don't got the time.
So you can be a little bit more surly then. Doubt it will. Sometimes he can, sometimes he can't.
You're a pretty smart-looking cat. You want to make some money?
Pay me large, you got my rapt attention.
Depends on how much the information's worth.
Unfortunately, my man, I got a bug.
Got to mix more out back.
Dynamite dining, old man. Catch you later.
Alright, so we got the chef going in the back there. We'll talk to the owner here.
Beautiful night, isn't it?
When business thriving, night always beautiful.
How long has that chef worked for you?
Zurban? Just month. Superior chef makes all kinds of new such.
This girl ever eat around here?
Nah, all gaijin look like the old man.
This from your place, isn't it?
Could be. Chopstick come from Yoshi's restaurant supply.
Now, of course, see, like this is of course the place where we first saw Deckard in the movie eating, and then Edward James Olmos' character comes up to him. We will see that character later on. So let's go in the back here and question Zurban, the guy who just went to go make soup here. Changed to be a little bit more friendly. To see what we can get out of him.
Howie says you're a master chef.
You not come back here. Air bad.
This'll only take a minute. You know this girl or not?
Nope. I know who I know, and who I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know her.
Think hard.
Okay. Maybe seen her once. At station. Riding north on bullet train.
North, huh?
Go slower. Oh, gotta get another way. Oh. Alright. It's a little bit funnier when you get hit with the soup there. But yeah, you can escape from the soup. We can chase him down here. Not technically him, though, but we don't want to shoot him.
A big guy run past here?
Hey, maybe spare some chinion? Thanks. The big man, he kinda limping.
So I guess we give him money. Later, Charles Bronson.
Hey, Pops.
Hey, Pops, you're going through pipes. Oh yeah, so earlier we said we weren't going to dig through trash, but yeah, what the hell. Yeah, I was going to find anything remotely interesting in trash, except maybe bigger dumpsters, I guess. That's his one thing. I guess bigger dumpsters is what he likes. So, again, we're looking for him through here. This door will lead us somewhere, but I think it's locked at the moment. And then, here's Zurban. Now comes the action part, where basically we just button mash at him. And kill him. Yeah, there's no actual... It doesn't matter where you shoot him on the body, it's all the same.
Lightning Squad, Rep Unit, Battle of the Gemini. I'd retired a war hero, someone who'd fought for the freedom of the off-world colonists.
Alright. Just leave the body there, and the police show up pretty quickly. And there's our...
Chill it, man.
Familiar guy.
Just took a wrong turn back there, that's all.
Take your business elsewhere.
An excellent idea.
Get out of here, Billy Crystal. Alright. Okay, so we've got our perp nailed. Like, technically, I like the way that different events can happen in the game. Like, for instance, if we didn't kill Zurban there, we could go back to our apartment, and Zurban would actually follow us back to the parking lot. Only, it's a little bit more difficult to kill him. Like, on one hand, it's a little bit easier because we're a further distance away when he tries to attack us at the apartment, but he's also much smaller in the view that we fight him in there, so it's better just to kill him there. And here we have Gaff here.
Stripes, McCoy.
Working on it.
Keep it up. You just might have a future in this business.
I understand it's got a hell of a retirement plan.
I checked with UN Air. Looks your rep swung that Moonbus massacre last month.
They ever find the Moonbus?
Disappeared into thin air. Brian thinks it crashed out in the Kipple.
How many reps we talking about?
Enough. They're Nexus 6s, so don't take too much slack.
Gotcha.
You VK the mark before retirement?
Didn't have to.
That's why they call it the magic.
VK is... He's referring to Voight Kampf.
You ever retire a human, your career is over. Remember that.
The magic, I guess, is just instinct? I don't remember ever mentioning this crap about magic in the movie. So yeah, we'll be seeing more of him, and we will be seeing some of his origami, just like in the movie. So mostly at this point we're finished.
Are you taking any drugs?
I forgot about that too. There are a few passerbys you can spot.
You got anything that's a match for these?
You can spot a few passerbys going by in the street, and you can attempt to question them, and everyone will just ignore you, which I love.
Excuse me?
Yep. It's just how alone you are in the world. So that's pretty much the end of the first act here, so now we can just go home to our apartment here and get this beautiful shot here. Looks so amazing for that time. I remember being so excited when I got this game on Christmas and just seeing that huge box. I hadn't actually seen Blade Runner when I first played the game in '97, but wow, was I excited for this game. Like, the first trailer I saw, this footage looked amazing.
Your floor number, please.
So I just had to get it. And once I played the game, I was a little bit more excited for the Blade Runner movie. To check that out.
Apartments.
McCoy, 88F.
88. Thank you.
I believe Deckard's is, I think it's something like 90-something. I think we're about 10 floors below.
I lived with the best gal I'd ever seen. She'd cost me about a year's salary, but she was worth it.
And we have our little doggy.
Maggie, come here, girl.
Show off that walk cycle, Maggie. So yeah, very similar in the design to Deckard's apartment here. We have the Esper machine right here, so we can check photos if we need to. And we can go in the back here. And walk out on the balcony just like in the movie. But usually, I think it's in a different version of the game, but you come out here and you reflect on the replicant you just killed, remarking how they're much different from other replicants. But I guess this is part of the designer's cut, so I hadn't actually turned on the designer's cut in the first time I played the game, so I guess we do remove some of the narration. Interesting to note here, this... to the best of my knowledge, this isn't the original Vangelis music from the movie. This is, again, just like the design of the game, it's replicated from concepts and materials that were already made for the film, but not directly lifted from them. Right here we have our voicemail machine.
I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath. My wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told my wrath. My wrath did grow.
Erase and reset.
Okay. So yeah, here is a few more of our clues here. And we can dump these into the database later. Change it a little bit surly, just in case. Seemed way too passive about just... Oh, I got crazy poetry on my phone.
Violent street crime in the city rose again last year by a whopping 26%, according to the latest figures
so that
from
plays,
the Department
we'll
of Justice.
Go to the bathroom, I guess.
Governor Kolvig attributed the change to the dramatic increase in the number of specials registered as city residents and promised a tough new set of standards for the City Immigration Bureau by next month.
Portrait of the sleep-deprived.
Well, that's how we address ourselves before we go to bed. Okay, so here's the next murder.
What? Kingston Kitchen. Oh, yes, right. Hold on.
this what the gravity be like on Mars?
Oh, no. It's about a third of what we got here on Terra. Real comfy. How about turning that dial, okay? When I say...
Please, can you control your rat?
I'll have you know that Ricky's a purebred...
Oh, no. Forgot about that shot.
Things going good at Tyrell Corporation?
Boring. Old man Tyrell's been on a Wagner kick lately. He never shuts up.
You also do outside work?
Sweetie, I never go outside. It's bad for the glands.
I think I'd have this much money would order better food.
I think you should be going now.
Understand good, it holds deep meaning for me now. Where be your research on Nexus 6?
I hate these cutscenes the way that characters touch each other, because it's always floating.
Extraterrestrial gravity.
1 more minute, you be swallowing this explosive. 3 more minutes, they be hosing you off the True Life building across town.
No, I swear. I don't have anything. If I did, I'd give it to you.
My people sick and dying. You tell me something.
Talk to Dr. Tyrell.
Tell me something I don't know.
So,
the organ designers, Miraji, Hannibal Chu.
So yeah, similar plot to that of Blade Runner.
Where?
DNA Row. They're all working down on DNA Row.
You one miserable package man.
No, please don't.
Yeah. All right. So we'll answer this call quick here. And
hope you aren't camped out there with a bottle of tequila.
Oh, very funny.
Early bird slays the worm, McCoy.
Don't worry, I'm up, Lieutenant. What's the buzz?
One of Tyrell's employees got his fat face splattered all over the marble interior of the Tyrell building.
Inside?
That's right. But we also got a sweet little break on it. Tyrell's surveillance system recorded the whole shebang.
Beautiful. How many perps?
Just one. I don't know if it's related to the Runciter deal or not. Tyrell security will have the disc for you when you get there. You'll be good, killer.
Okay, so that was the end of the first act. This is actually this is the start of the second disc from the game, because this game came on 4 discs at the time, but the installer thankfully just rips all the data off all the discs and just has it all at the hard drive. So thankful for that. And so yeah, that's essentially the end of the first act there. So I think I will stop it for right now. We already have the audio save, so I'll just keep that on file. And we're just going to quit out here. One thing I just want to mention, this is supposed to be the how you quit out of the game. I swear they did this as a joke, because like on one hand, like you think this cancels it instead of quitting, but actually this is for quitting the game, and this is actually for getting back in. So many a time I click that. So yeah, that's the first act of Blade Runner. And I'll see if I can do this again sometime. So, thank you for watching. Are we... Come on. Just give me a minute here. We're going... Technical difficulties with ending the video here. Let's see if we can get this going here. Can you tell it's my first time? Alright, here we go. Thank you for watching.